and welcome to a special edition of THP TV. We are doing release season. It's a big one here. I have Luke Williams of Callaway and Odyssey fame with me today. Luke, how are you?
I'm great, Dan. Thanks for having me.
It is awesome to have you on. We are talking about a brand new product. And before we even kick that off, I want to mention there's actually going to be one of these potentially given away. So stay tuned to the end of the video. It's not going to be a super long video. Find out how you can win one. Luke, let's kick it off really quickly by saying you guys are releasing 2-ball 11. That's really exciting.
Yeah, it is. So we introduced the 11 line earlier this year, and it's done really well. We're starting to see more and more tour play in Japan. It's been our number one model in play pretty much every week since we've launched it. Here in the US, our early focus was on Tri-Hot, but we're now putting more of an emphasis on 11, and we're seeing more uptick. We had 2-ball 11 out just a couple weeks ago for the first time, and had a lot of interest. Kevin Kisner put it in play the first week he saw it, which is crazy because he's typically in putters that are 5 to 10 years old for us. So that's always nice to get him into something more current. And we're just really excited. The 11 putter has some really unique mass properties and performance advantages. And now to take our 2-ball alignment system and put it on that mallet, we thought was sort of an obvious choice, but we're really excited.
Yeah, so 2-ball has existed for, I believe, over 20 years now. I remember putting it play back when I was, I think, just getting into college. So not to date myself. That's actually probably not a bad thing, but 20 years plus, and we've seen different versions of 2-ball, but the concept remains the same. So I really appreciate Odyssey's lack of fear of trying new things with the concept in play. It seems like 11 is a really sensible decision to at least give it a shot there. When you are in design mode, was it an immediate assumption that like we really need to get this technology and this concept into this putter style?
So we did it with the 10. So we introduced the 10 model, and then when we updated that, we added a 2-ball version, which at the time seemed like a good idea and something that was pretty obvious, and it did very well. So the 2-ball 10 did even better than the 10. It was our number one model in play on tour for a good part of the year. So as we were working on this new 11 shape, we're always working on new and different shapes. We weren't originally designing it with the 2-ball version in mind. But once we got the design finalized, and this was as we were seeing the success that we were with the 2-ball 10, we decided it would probably be a good idea to also apply the 2-ball alignment system to the 11 shape. And so it took a little modifying from the standard 11 shape, but came together pretty well. And like you said, it's sort of an iconic alignment system for for the last 20 years, as you said. And there are lots of players for whom it's the easiest way for them to line putts up. So if we can apply that to different shapes as and when it makes sense, we can get that alignment with improved mass properties and better roll and more forgiveness and all of those things. So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and what I really like in what you did is you didn't just take it and say let's add a 4th head. You've actually added 3 new heads with the designs that were already built into 11 maintained. So you have effectively your empty top model, which now just has the 2-ball alignment system, but you've also added the tour line as well as a triple track line. Was that a tough decision? Do we want to just add a 4th, or do we want to go up to 6? Was that a hard decision to make?
It's always a little tough, sort of managing SKUs
and
the SKU world, sure, that we have, and then we've got to consider as well not just golfers but retailers, and how many are they gonna want to carry. And but we believe in this product. um, we know the 11 is a great performing mallet. We know how beloved two ball is. So we wanted to come out with a full offering. I think triple track is fairly new for us in the two ball, but in the past we've had the traditional no lined, and then whenever we do that, we get people asking for a line on it, and then if we do a line only, then people ask for no line. So um, it's like anything. We're gonna whatever we don't offer, someone's gonna want.
Yeah.
Um, so
That's true.
in this case, we decided to make all of the options available.
Okay. And then I did see there's a couple Hosel options as well, maybe not as prevalent, but
Yep.
what can you share with people in terms of Hosel variants?
Yeah, so we have double bend versions, as well as our short slant neck, our S neck. So that the double bend is a face balanced. All of those will be face balanced. So for players that are trying to reduce the amount of rotation in their stroke, players that try to be more straight back and straight through, typically that'll be a better option. And then the S neck provides some toe hang. The shaft is straight going into that, so it provides a different look, but it provides a toe hang that for many makes it easier for them to kind of open and close the blade if that's more what they're looking for in their stroke.
Yeah, and then back to that traditional Odyssey experience, you did do white hot insert, which has
Yeah.
been just basically diesel fuel for anyone who is an Odyssey fan. That I assume that was a pretty easy choice to continue that into the lineup.
Yeah, when we reintroduced White Hot last year, the reception was we were expecting it to be well received, but it was even more well received than we expected. And even when White Hot wasn't in line for us per se, it was still our number one insert on tour. We just had players that have gotten accustomed to that. It's got a really unique sound, feel, speed off the face, response, that people get really dialed into. And once someone gets into that insert, it's really hard for them to switch, which, historically, and when we first launched White Hot, was great for us, because if someone was really dialed in with White Hot and they tried something else, um, it could be a tough transition. So as we brought out new inserts over the years, with different technologies and better roll and all of that, we still just had the diehard White Hot fans that we couldn't convert. So given the reception we had to White Hot last year, it was a pretty easy decision for us.
Yeah. And now you have, I think, the red Stroke Lab shaft, which looks absolutely insane. We see it out on tour a little bit.
Yeah.
And that supports this forward CG, the inertia built into the 11 shape.
Yeah.
Can you just give the really quick rundown of what that combination does to support a putting stroke?
Yeah, so the Stroke Lab has been great for us, and the red. Once we went to red, um, just the visibility we get on TV has been great. I mean, you can't watch a tour event without seeing red shafts, and that's great for us. We see the numbers are growing. About half of on the PGA Tour, about half of the players are using our red Stroke Lab shaft, and that number grows as players move out of older models and into newer models. Some of the steel shafts we have out there, might be original two balls or just older models. So we expect that to continue to grow, and we're going to continue to invest in that because we believe in that technology. It helps golfers improve the consistency of their stroke, which is obviously important. And then the weighting, the mass properties of the 11 are unique for a mallet of that type. So these more progressive mallets, which have become very popular on tour, as well as in the marketplace over the last few years, have great benefits. So they typically, let me just grab one here. So, they're larger shapes, so they typically have higher MOI. Next to my head, it doesn't look that big, but they're generally larger in shape. They have high MOI, which is great for forgiveness. But one of the drawbacks for some is that often it comes at the expense of CG depth. So the CG tends to move deeper in the head because you're trying to, often you'll put weight here in the perimeter to get the MOI up. That helps with MOI, but it takes the CG further from the face. And as you do that, some players struggle to get the face back to square. So when we've seen players that have moved out of these more progressive shapes, particularly on tour, and whether they're ours or competitors, what we hear most often is that their miss tends to be to the right. So the putter wants to open on the way back, but with that deeper CG, it takes more energy to get the face back to square. So with the 11, we've moved the weight more toward the front of the head. So the CG is shallower, more like where it would be with a blade. And that helps golfers in two ways. It helps them rotate the blade more, makes it more easy, makes it easier to square up. And the CG is closer to the face. So if a player is trying to have sort of an awareness of where the face is in their stroke, what you feel in your stroke isn't, you're not going to feel where the face is. You're going to feel where the center of gravity of the putter is. So the closer we can get that to the face, the closer that player's perception of where the head is or where the face is will be to what it actually is.
Well, I think the only thing we can do now, Luke, is find out. You're well known at the Granddaddy. You actually fit some folks into some blades last year, which is a remarkable process for you.
Yes.
I have to think with this release, you are firmly back in the mallet camp. Is that fair?
Yes. Yes. So I actually stepped over to the dark side for a bit this year as well, and have been gaming a tri-hot triple wide, which I guess is a blade, but is
mallet-ish. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And on the larger side for a blade, which I've loved. But I also I played with the 11. I like the single line, and now I have one of these, the two balls. For me, the single line is the easiest one to line up. But yeah, I'm dabbling now.
Yeah, that's great. Well, hey, folks, thanks for listening in today. We appreciate having Luke on to talk a little bit about the product. We also will have a live chat going on THP, the forums, starting, I believe, when this video hits. So if you want to win one of these putters, I can't promise it's the one that Luke's been holding on to, but if you're looking to get one of these in your hands, jump into the live chat, ask Luke a question about the new product, and maybe you can walk home, or at least walk to the golf course with a brand new 11 2 ball. Thanks again, Luke.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.